Whenever we were mapping out this show, we were trying to come up with what we wanted it to be. One of the things I pitched was I wanted this to be a smart show where you're going to get takes or information that maybe isn't always the lowest hanging fruit. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe we take something that you might think and show a flip to it. This episode is going after that low hanging fruit because that fruit is there for a reason. Sometimes the simplest answer is the best. And whenever you look at the Pirates 2026 prospects, man, there's a lot hinging on Paul Skenes and how he needs to perform better in the second half than he did the first. Good morning and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. Happy start of the second half of the season, everyone. Hope you can make it out to Cleveland and check out the tailgate. If you guys are heading out there, I'm looking forward to it. This is the big stretch. Up until the trade deadline, the Pirates are going to face a lot of good teams. It's a tough schedule. If they get through it, though, it starts letting up a little bit in August and September. It could create a path. Maybe they add a couple relievers, and you see a path towards the postseason. And this week, we've looked at players who maybe didn't live up to expectations in the first half of the season, and what will they do in the second half? Started with Dennis Santana, talked about Henry Davis, and now you got Paul Skenes, who was an all-star, who is still one of the faces of the game, is the face of the franchise. But at the end of the day, 3.57 ERA in the first half is shaky. And we can look at how his walk rate is the same as it's been the last 2 years. The expected ERA is basically the same as it was the last 2 years. And really the only stat that's drastically dropped peripheral-wise is left-on-base percentage, which you can say is somewhat random. It's out of his control in some regards. But I'm still hard-pressed. I have not found anyone who's like, yeah, that first half of the season was on par with his Cy Young campaign. Whenever we came into this year, we were talking about if this could just be an average offense, the starting pitching will take it from there. Just need an average offense. Well, the offense has been the best in baseball. And the Pirates starting pitching, they are 12th in ERA with a 4.20 ERA, and they have thrown the 13th most innings, 497. That's a pretty average rotation. And it's a rotation that I'm holding my breath a little bit here. Because as great as Braxton Ashcraft has been, you have to be mindful with his innings. You have to be mindful with his workload. You have to be careful. And I wonder what's going to happen to him in the second half of the season. Mitch Keller has a real left-handed pitching problem. Left-handed hitting. He can't get him out. He has one of the worst ERAs of any starting pitcher who has enough innings to qualify for the ERA title. Bubba Chandler's been up and down. I like some of the things he's doing mechanically. I think he's still on the right path, but he is still a rookie who has been streaky this year. Jerry Jones has had some brilliant moments, but he's still coming back from his elbow surgery. We don't know how many innings he's ever going to be allowed to throw. Is 6 like a very hard cap for him? So that puts a lot of pressure, in my opinion, on Paul Skenes. And is that entirely fair? Probably not. It's not his fault that Jared Jones can't go more than 6 innings or isn't allowed to go more than 6 innings. It's not his fault that Mitch Keller is having a bad year. It's not, there's a lot of stuff. There are circumstances that are around him that you can't put on the pitcher. But here's the deal. Whenever you are the face of the franchise, you are the first person people are going to look to step up in these big spots. And that first half of the season was Quite disappointing in my opinion. Pirates went 8-12 in his 20 starts. In 10 of those games, the offense scored at least 6 runs. 10 of those games. They were 6-4 whenever the offense scored 6 runs and Paul Skenes started. That is a tough pill to swallow. There are some games where, look, if you put up 1 run in Colorado, you're probably going to lose that game. That's really not on Paul Skenes. But 10 games with 6 runs and you lose 4 of them, that 8-12 starts looking worse. Because this is a team that is 2 games out of the postseason right now. Had they gone 500 in Paul Skenes' first half starts, this team is going into the second half of the season tied for a postseason spot. If they go 12-8, they are in a postseason spot. We use the comparison to Skubal and the Tigers the last couple years, and how that Tigers team has a lot of red flags and how they have not lived up to expectations, how they have, streakiness. The offense isn't what it used to be. But you know what? They went 21-10 in his starts last year, and that's why they made the postseason. That's a big part of it. The Pirates have provided Skenes more run support, and the results haven't been there in terms of wins and losses. And I know people will point to the last 2 starts he made. Games where the Pirates scored 26 runs offensively, but he did put better results up. But I look at that last outing against Milwaukee. It's like 5 1/3, 2 earned runs. Yeah, he had that long break for the 10-run inning that might have messed with his mojo a little bit, but he was still throwing 60% four-seam fastballs, and that fastball is 96 miles per hour on average. Whenever we were talking about a few weeks earlier, hey, what's wrong with Paul Skenes? A lot of people were saying fastball velo is down. Off-speed stuff isn't playing. What's going on mechanically? He's won his last 2 outings. He got to 500 at the All-Star break, but I was asked, you think he's fully back? It's I just kind of see the guy that we had seen the first half of the year, who at the end of the day is not a bad pitcher. There are a lot of pitchers that if you told them, hey, at the All-Star break, you will have thrown 108 1/3 innings with a 3.57 ERA, a lot of pitchers would take that. But we aren't supposed to have a lot of pitchers like Paul Skenes. He was the once in a generation. He is the Cy Young winner. There is a heightened expectation. And whenever we talk about how this starting rotation has not lived up to that expectation, you look at the face of the franchise too. We're going to take a quick break, throw it over to Cody. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
I looked it up. Paul Skenes had 6 games in 2025 whenever he was given 6 runs of run support. The Pirates won all 6. This is such a huge second half of the season for him. The Pirates need him to be the type of guy to just take control, because there are going to be innings questions with a lot of these guys. There is going to be quality questions with some of these guys. He is the one guy that you feel like who will throw 180 to 200 innings right now. Maybe you could think that, with Mitch Keller, but I just don't see that happening. Not with how he's performing. This bullpen has been a thorn in their side all years. They need someone who could go deep into games. That should be Paul Skenes. We're going to see what happens at this trade deadline, how the Pirates bolster this team, how they add presumably to the bullpen. Maybe they look at the rotation also. Because I remember going into the year, us talking about how, look, this is a team that's going to have a lot of young pitchers set new records for innings pitched. You don't know how they're going to perform. You don't know how their bodies are going to hold up. There are a lot of questions surrounding this rotation. Paul Skenes can't be one. Maybe he just pitches like his expected ERA indicates that he probably should have the rest of the way. And the fact that he's throwing 96-mile-per-hour fastballs isn't a deal breaker. That's fine. But they got to get a lot of quality starts. They need someone who could go deep in the game, someone who's going to prevent those crooked number innings. Because this offense has exceeded every expectation anyone had for them. It has been elite. It has been the best in baseball in the first half of the season. And they're going to be getting O'Neal Cruz back soon. They're going to be getting Spencer Horwitz back soon. Losing Connor Griffin is a blow, but maybe they could get him at the end of the year too. The offense has no questions. The bullpen, we have to presume they will be adding to it. There will be external additions. The rotation, you really have to look at internally who can get better. And Paul Skenes is one of those guys. I'm not saying he has to have a sub-2 ERA the rest of the way like he did in 2024 and 2025. But he needs to be able to go innings, and he needs to put himself in position for his team to win. There are 4 times this year the Pirates have scored 6 runs on a Paul Skenes start date and lost. Pirates are in a position that right now, I don't think they're going to catch the Brewers. Their path to October is a wild card. And it's a very crowded field in the National League right now. It stands to reason that, 83, 84 wins, which was good enough for the Reds last year, will not get you in to October this year. The Pirates will need to have a better winning percentage in the second half of the season than they did the first half of the season if they want to play in October. Whenever you're 8-12 with your ace on the mound, that's opportunity. Can they do better than a .400 winning percentage? The last time the Pirates made the postseason, they were 23-9 on Garrett Cole's start days. That was a big reason why they made the playoffs that year. Pirates could really use someone like that, a performance like that down the stretch from Skenes. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find podcasts, or check us out on YouTube if you want to see my smiling face. Thank you so much for listening. Maybe see you at the tailgate. If not, we'll talk again on Monday.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.